Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pit Road Productions. We are here with the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League for Round 6 here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an absolute belter of an event. Certainly, we've been having a lot of fun here with the WDCR, and definitely the racing has been absolutely fantastic so far. Certainly we had the Kurt Derby last week, but as we're getting into this week, we're back to the usual schedule here, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of which, my name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the booth today is going to be Mr. Rob Campbell. And Rob, tell us a little bit about your thoughts here for the event here at Mid-Ohio.
Well, I think I mentioned it last week. Mid-Ohio is, in my opinion, a great track. It's a track I really like. I know it's not on your princess-approved list of tracks, but it's definitely it's definitely an underappreciated track, I think, as far as iRacing goes. I think DJ Alessandrini might be a local to the track. Saw him in practice earlier, so I'm not sure if we're going to see him in qualifying. I don't see him out there yet, but it'll be interesting to see how he does after being back a couple weeks off. But Mid-Ohio, fun tracks, got a number of different layouts. Looks like we're doing the full layout here, where it's kind of similar. It's kind of got VIR-esque, Road Atlanta-esque vibes to it. So I'm really surprised that it's not more popular on the surfaces. Those are two very popular tracks in their own right on the surface.
I got to admit, I'm quite a fan of VIR, and Road Atlanta is probably my favorite track. But speaking of some different tracks, let's take a quick look at the schedule and see where we've been and where we're going. So we started at Summit Point, went to Oran Park and the Mugello, off to a very good track of Alton Park, slightly biased opinion, and then had the Kurt Derby at Road America. This week it's going to take us to Mid-Ohio. We're next week going to another Princess-approved, not on the list track of Belle Isle, with Round 8 in VIR, followed by Round 9 in Sebring and Round 10 in Road Atlanta. So certainly the last 3 rounds certainly right up my list, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly qualifying is currently underway. We are going to try and find one of these cars. Oh, before we do that, I've got a better idea. We should actually go over the points. I was having a quick look earlier. Rob, these points are incredibly close. Take a look at these.
Yeah, it looks like we got a battle for top 3 spots of top of the podium, currently tied by Ken Housel and Colin Denner. So interesting to see how that plays out. DJ, I just mentioned that he's back. Looks like this week after a couple weeks off, currently in 3rd spot. So still tight battle between them, but not out of the battle is Andrew Pilata, Michael Montello, and Mike S. Leader. They're still within striking distance. So it'll be interesting to see how they perform tonight to see if they can kind of close that gap. Then we got Ryan Carwile in 7th, Kevin Zhu in 8th, Adam Kobach in 9th, and Jack Chrissy rounds out the top 10. Jack, as we mentioned, generally shows a lot of speed, but has some unfortunate incidents usually. But we saw him bring home the win last week, so we'll see if he's able to turn that around this week into another strong showing, Zippy.
Well, hopefully he can. Sadly, there was no points on the line available for the Kurt Derby, so don't get me wrong, he did deliver, just not at a time when it was the most optimal for his championship standings. And here we see Anthony Montello, ladies and gentlemen. He's currently there in qualifying. Actually, if I have a quick look, I don't believe we've actually got any times yet been set here. Oh no, we do have a couple of times there. It's 5 times on the board right now. Andrew Pilata currently leading the charge, but right now we've got Anthony Montello, one of the Montello brothers, and we will just double check, make sure we do have. Yep, both brothers are indeed present. Michael Montello not yet taken to the track, but we are going to give a little bit of screen time if we can. Nope, he's not in here. So we do have Dylan Newhard in the chat, but absent from the session. Dylan, would you like to explain that, sir? It's great to see you here in the chat, and also as well, Kobach is in the top 10. Go Nifakura, that's from Zaralif as well. Great to have you here in the chat as well. By all means, guys in the chat, if you want to come in and tell us a little bit more about these drivers, absolutely, I strongly encourage it. But right now, we have Jack Chrissy, who's just been able to snake his way into 2nd place.
Yeah, strong showing so far by Chrissy, looking to build off last week's strong showing in the Kurt Derby. So right now, looking good for him. He's trying to chase down Andrew Pilata. They're only separated by, it looks like, 1/100th of a second there. So real tight battle between them. Reed Shannabrook in 3rd. A little further back, Colin Denner, who his fan club will be happy to know that you've worked on a helmet cam this week, Zippy. So we'll have to take a look at his helmet a little later on so that we don't get asked about 3 or 4 times whether we can see his helmet there or not. But you've got it all prepared, ready to go. But Jack Chrissy, as we're on board with him, heading down through the elevation area. You come down the hill, fast double right-hand sweeper back up the hill. Easy to lose the car off to the left there, Zippy. It's kind of a blind corner, similar to, I'd say, the roller coaster in VIR. As I mentioned, there's a lot of similarities between the tracks. So just to give you a little reference of that area, and then into the final couple corners. Real easy again to go off wide there. It looks like there's a lot more runoff to the left than there is. It closes up real quick and around the last corner. And that's going to finish up a lap here for Jack Chrissy. We'll see if he's able to improve on his time as he crosses the line.
Well, oh, okay. As we say that, here you go, Rob. By all means, do the honors as we go on board with the gentleman driving. That is Jack Chrissy.
Yeah, we're going to pick up another lap from Jack, heading down the front straight into actually turn 3. Real tight right-hander here. We'll see a lot of overtaking attempts there as they get the run through the straight, then onto the back straight here. Another fine opportunity to try and make a move. Little hilly section, a little hard to see into the braking zone as you come up, so you got to kind of keep a real eye on the brake markers on the left side. Easy to run wide and deep into the braking zone here for turn number 4. Then we're gonna head into the elevation change section. This is as I mentioned, really reminiscent of VIR Road Atlanta. Very similar to Road Atlanta here. We were coming up over the crest into the S's there. Quick little left-hander into a right-hand, left-hand, right-hand section. Real easy to go off the track here, and no real overtaking opportunities. It'd be more or less single file through here. Kind of hold on, make sure that they don't go off track, because it is narrow. Not a whole lot of overtaking opportunities, but up into, I believe this is turn number 9, 10. They're coming through, also known as Thunder Valley. Why they named it that, I have no idea, but it's a cool name and we'll stick with it. A couple more corners to go for Chrissy, currently sitting on top. Oh, it looks like Andrew Pilata has pipped him last time by. So see if Chrissy's picked up a little more speed here to take back pole position as we're getting close to halfway through qualifying here, Zippy. So we'll see if he's able to improve as he crosses the line.
Well, certainly, I mean, he's going to do everything he can. And I've actually only just realized while we ride on board that I've actually driven here before in the Formula V. Certainly not a track that I was, it didn't stand out to me, but certainly in the Formula V, everything's going to look absolutely massive. And in these cars, although they are not the most potent vehicles here on the iRacing service, they're certainly, they're enough that you can get in trouble and have a lot of fun in the process as well. But as we have a look through here, we see quite a few of the regulars. And actually, I do see a particular name missing. That's Ken Housel. Ladies and gentlemen, the league admin currently not present today. And those of you who do follow the SCCA Facebook page, I did happen to see, I actually sent Ken a message the other day and said, was that your wife I've just seen in a video? And he's like, yes, it was. And actually himself and his wife, they're getting interviewed by the SCCA and showing us just how awesome autocross could be. And not only that, there was a demonstration of a Mazda RX-8, which, don't get me wrong, is definitely a little bit of a, a like it or hate it car. Myself, I'm quite the fan. I would rock one of those.
Yeah, it's hard to beat the sound of a rotary engine, Zippy, especially if you're getting into the 3 and 4 rotor power plants. It's a very distinct sound. I had an RX-8 myself until somebody decided to broadside me heading through a stop light one time, and it also reminisced. I had a double twin turbo RX-7 way back in the day.
Ooh.
The early Gen 2 model 95 model as well. I had that in, I'm going to date myself here, in towards the end of high school, and it was one of those cars that wasn't worth a whole lot back then, but if I would have kept it now, I'd be laughing. So kind of kicking myself for getting rid of it back then, Zippy, but it is what it is.
I think that's one of those, a twin turbo RX-8 of that generation. While it sounds incredibly cool, I think you maybe not been a successful family man you are today if you'd kept the car. Certainly, divorce may have been on the table if it came down to the car, or I think it's fair to say, the car would have lived on, but depending on who you ask. Rob, she doesn't watch these, does she? We're all right. Yeah. But you can see here, he's checking, ladies and gentlemen. He's checking. Don't get me wrong. We're going to be getting more shows here at Pit Road Productions if that does happen. Or maybe I find himself out of a commentator and a producer. But certainly you can see Anthony Montello, not sure on his marital status right now, but certainly his lawnmowing status, cutting a little bit of a wheel in the grass there. Nothing too crazy, but currently DJ Alessandrini is sitting at the top of the charts. He's out doing another lap, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm wondering if he can improve. Andrew Pilota is currently second, Jack Chrissy in third, but Anthony Montello looking to try and improve. Actually, as we say that, Michael Montello has gone green in 2 sectors.
Yeah, we're starting to see the Montello brothers starting to move up the standings. As I mentioned, I think DJ is a local to Mid-Ohio, so no surprise that he's running strong here tonight. But on board with Anthony Montello. Anthony is, or sorry, we're on Michael. I get the two paint jobs
Yeah.
mixed up.
Oh, there we go.
Michael just crossed the line, moved up into 6 ahead of brother Anthony. So little brother's just kind of moved big brother back a spot, and we'll see if Anthony is able to counter as he crosses the line in a few corners here. He's heading into the final sector now.
Well, I see Kart in 77. I was waiting for them to join the chat. I believe his name is Ryan, if I remember rightly. Forgive me if I've got that wrong. Don't get wrong. As commentators, we have the names literally in front of us for the most part. But we do have a present for you today, sir. But Colin's currently not out on the track, so you're just going to have to hold on. I think, if anything, I'm going to tease you with it until near the end of the race. There you go. How to retain viewership, ladies and gentlemen. Put a little carrot there, promise of a potential camera, perhaps, and that could be, exactly what we need to see. But it does look like most of these guys have indeed finished qualifying. Michael's going. He's the last car on track, other than DJ Alessandrini, who's still currently out there. And I did get the name right. Look at that. It is indeed Ryan. Look at me go, ladies and gentlemen. I got that right. And it looks like I may have started in the chat a little bit. But, yeah, no, certainly we've got that to look forward to later. We've done the championship points. But you know what we should do, Rob, which we are notoriously unprepared for this week. We are on it, though. And ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about our sponsors. We're going to mix it up once again. And we'll start this time with the Radial Tire Company, and they've been providing the Washington DC area with quality tires and the finest service since 1976, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty impressive standards. They earned a reputation as a premier specialist in hard-to-find performance tire and wheel applications, and they stock tires from all of the top manufacturers for whatever you drive, from small economy cars to SUVs and trucks. Their mission is to assist you in getting the most out of your tires and car.
Yeah, I'm going to take Belmont Classic Cars, as I'm sure you've probably scanned the website like you do.
I was doing it now,
week.
literally doing it right now.
Seeing if there's anything new that catches your eye. But they're a family-owned classic car and collector dealership in Eastern Ohio. They specialize in 1960s and 70s American muscle cars and other unique cars. They take pride in taking you back to a simpler time with iconic classic rides. They started in 2017 and have sold cars across the USA and globally. They never sell anything that they wouldn't want in their own collection. Owners Andy and Dana Mistak come by their love of cars naturally, both their fathers being avid car enthusiasts. Andy's dad was a Chevy guy, Dana's dad was a Ford guy, which made for some interesting family gatherings, no doubt. Outside the family business, their entire family has been race involved from motocross, trophy trucks, and their new endeavor of road racing. With WDCR being such a welcoming group, they decided to commit their support to this organization, and they're very grateful to have the honor to sponsor such a great group, community, and promoting the sport they love.
And if you did want to check out their website, they currently have a 1949 Chevrolet 3100. It's got 44,000 miles on it for $39,900, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful red and almost like a tan color as well. It's even got like the old metal style hook wraps, and it is indeed a 4-speed manual, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, that's on there. There's also it looks like a 64 Chevelle has come in as well. Really old school. But, yeah, that's enough car shopping for me for the minute. Let's have a look at OG Racing. And they carry just what you need to get to the track, from driving suits and shoes to helmets, data, and video systems to your favorite brake pads from Performance Friction, Hawk, and Pagid. OG Racing has built its reputation over the last 22 years by providing the best customer service in the motorsports business. Our depth of inventory is second to none when it comes to safety equipment. You gotta have the safety gear, guys. That's why they've been the highest volume Sparco distributor for 17 years. It's not just on their website, it's in their Sterling, Virginia 12,000 square foot warehouse. Rob, I understand you've got time for our last sponsor today, and that is RP Performance.
Yeah, RP Performance is located right in the heart of Summit Racing's, or Summit Point's gasoline alley. RP is the only premier race car shop that specializes in both street and track Mazdas. RP Performance is known for its help in all attitude and works at getting the cars back on track for a positive experience at all Summit Point events. In its 30 years, RP has accrued many wins and championships with various classes with all ages of drivers under the RP Performance banner. In addition to track support and transport, RP is a full-service shop helping drivers with individual racing and other track event needs. You can find them at 103 Gasoline Alley, Unit 12, Summit Point, West Virginia.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much again for the sponsors for being there. It certainly helps us keep this thing going, and certainly helps you guys over at the WDCR. As I look away for a second there, and Jesus, the chat's been getting busy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to catch up with that in just a few short moments, as it does appear that, ladies and gentlemen, the qualifying session is indeed over. I'm going to get qualifying actually ready for you here, and I think Ooh. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see there DJ Alessandrini takes the top spot with Andrew Pilota in second. Jack Chrissy takes third with one of the Montello brothers. It's Michael on this occasion in fourth with Reed Shannonbrook in fifth. Colin Denner, certainly very popularly requested in the chat. He's there in sixth with Anthony Montello in seventh. Kevin Zhu in eighth. Ryan Carwile in ninth. And Wally in 10th.
Yeah, and then we find Will Long in 11th. Chris Harp is going to start 12th. Adam Kobach in 13th. Nathan Brackman, I'm not sure that's a name we've seen much, Zippy, but in 14th. Louis Alesi in 15th. Albert Go in 16th. Eddie Ketchkarakis in 17th. John Holloway in 18th. Jarrett Page going to start 19th. And James Crothers going to round out the top 20 with no time.
Well, that actually closes out our grid today. Certainly a couple of people missing here today. Ladies and gentlemen, is there some kind of event that I am not aware of? Because, yeah, we need to see some bumps in seats, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to see you here racing with us. Certainly, it's been a very, very fun event so far. And definitely want to keep up that fantastic participation that we've seen here at the WDCR.
Yeah, I think it's probably a mix of, like I mentioned, Zippy, Mid-Ohio, for some reason, doesn't get a whole lot of love, even though it's very similar to a couple of the other tracks I mentioned. I think it's one of those tracks the iRacing should really look at making possibly free and part of the base content to get a little more use out of it. I think it's a great track to really kind of train your driving, as it's real tight, twisty, some blind corners and so forth. I think it'd be great for the rookie series to really get a little bit of time in battling in close quarters as our field starts to pull away behind the pace car. So we're doing a full pace lap here tonight.
Well, certainly it's good to see these guys are going to get a little bit longer to warm up them tyres. Certainly tyres has been part of the discussion here today. Well, not just today, here in this series at WDCR. Certainly in the closing stages, we've seen it be a little bit more of a bigger deal. But I've got to say, despite being a 20-car field, that's actually... that looks pretty busy, don't get me wrong. If I was at the back of that, I certainly would be wanting to try and move my way through the field. Obviously, with qualifying pace being absolutely abysmal here in Pit Road Productions, at least if I'm driving, ladies and gentlemen, I would be looking to try and use attrition to my advantage. But certainly, as we see these drivers all go, they're on the field, taking to the grid, and getting a little bit of scenery here at Mid-Ohio today.
Yeah, and there is one thing to be said for smaller grids, as we had a look at the championship standings early on, Zippy, where we saw there was some tight battles that were really close in points. So smaller fields actually work well for the guys mid-pack and back. They can really pick up a nice points haul if they manage to finish the race and do well. As we take another look at the standings here, see how tight it is at the top 5 of them. Real tight battle out there. They'll be looking to move up, and without Ken Housel, our current championship leader, not here tonight, that's an opportunity for Denner, Alessandrini, and Pilota to make some nice big gains on him.
Oh, absolutely. Certainly, I think Denner has got the most to gain here. Alessandrini certainly not had the best attendance, and for that, we will forgive him. We know he is actually doing some racing there in real life, which, you know what, I can't fault him for that in the slightest. So certainly, I would enjoy doing that. I don't know if the people around me necessarily would, ladies and gentlemen, but it remains to be seen. But you can see here, absolutely beautiful views here. It almost reminds me a little bit of my... Of my homeland of Lincolnshire, actually, because looking at like just long fields and, it almost looks like a little bit of a farm track there. It just reminds me a little bit of home, the plains, I guess, of Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, throw a few Jersey cows out there and you're all set.
Oh, don't get me started on cows. There's a story behind that. We're not going to go into it right now, but let's just say I gave a league member a nickname once. He didn't know what it was, and everybody took to it, and then he found out in the 12-hour Sebring, much to our amusement. But ladies and gentlemen, they are getting ready to cross the green here, and it looks like DJ Alessandrini has put his foot down as go, 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 go. He's there. He pulls away. Andrew Pilota staying in second. Jack Chrissy in third. Very quickly, these guys are getting down into single file. As I say that, look further back through the field. You can already see a couple of people there going side by side.
Yeah, Alessandrini able to get a nice jump on the start that actually allowed Andrew Pilota to move over early on and pick up the single file. As we see, I'm not sure who that was at the back.
John Holloway.
John Holloway has kind of kissed the barrier and lost the front end. He's going to tow back early on, and an unfortunate start to the race for John. But back up here with the lead pack, as it looks like we got Anthony Montello trying to make a move around Colin Denner. Sorry, that's Michael Montello trying to make a move around Colin Denner. I think Denner's going to hold him off for now. He'll have the inside into the next corner, and he's going to keep on to that position. Unfortunately, Michael's going to fall back. He's got brother Anthony now, but Michael trying to make another move on the inside. Denner will have the inside for the next corners. A lot of left-right switchbacks here. Zippy, you maybe on the inside for one corner, but the very next corner you're going to be on the outside. So you see a lot of battling back and forth here between one car getting advantage and then losing that advantage into the next section.
Well, we may indeed have to write to the person who produced Cha-Cha Slide, because certainly it feels like this race is going to be something that comes with instructions of slide to the left, slide to the right, and maybe even a little bit of crisscross. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're still with us in the next 30 seconds after that absolutely abysmal pun, thank you very much. Just wanted to have a little bit of fun with that. I guess today's theme, Rob, let's see how many musical puns we can get today into the show here at the Mid-Ohio racetrack. But you can see here the field already spreading out. Alessandrini pulled away about 5 tenths of a second. Jack Chrissy and Andrew Pilota, these guys are starting to go hard at it as we have a look through the field. Actually, one of the closest battles going on currently in here for P2.
Yeah, it looks like Jack Chrissy trying to work off his success last week, trying to put a whole lot of pressure on Andrew Pilota, as the three of them have broken away a little bit from Reed Shanbrook. Looks like they got about 7 tenths or third place Shanbrook as we look back at him there now in the orange and black car. Chrissy in his traditional Turner Motorsports yellow paint job, trying to pull away from Shanbrook there. Then we got the Montello. First, the Montello brothers of Michael, and then Colin Denner in his usual Haribo paint scheme as we got a battle here between Eddie Karakis and it looks like Jarrett Page just ahead of him as we're taking a look back at Jarrett Page, trying to find Eddie Karakis up ahead of him. There he is. That's currently our battle for, I believe that is 17th place.
Yes, sir, it is indeed, and I'm absolutely loving the elevation changes you were mentioning earlier. I did try and catch it as it was going on, but look, looks like we got another battle going on, this time between Louis Alessi and Chris Hupp. This man, nope, not my apologies, Louis Alessi, ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Brackman and Albert Go. There we go. I was going to say, Chris Hupp generally always in a battle. It doesn't matter where he is, he always seems to find the action, as it looks like Louis Alessi has actually just let these guys go in the Goodyear-sponsored machine. Certainly, he's going to do everything he can, I would imagine. Maybe a little bit of a slowdown now there. Maybe that's something you could take a quick peek at, Rob. Certainly, it's not a track that I'm familiar with on this occasion, but it looks like maybe some of the action is going to be happening further back through the field between 15th, 16th, and 17th place.
Yeah, we've got a smaller field, but we still got some battles all throughout Zippy, as we still see Jack Chrissy putting a whole lot of pressure on Andrew Pilota for second place. DJ Ellison Reeves opened up a bit of a gap, 8 tenths over that battle now. He'd love to see them continue to battle in the rearview mirror to open up that gap a little further. But looks like just behind them, looks like Michael Montello is starting to put some pressure on Reed Shanbrook now, as they've broken away from Colin Denner. And behind Colin is going to have to start to deal with the other Montello brother, Anthony. But right now, Michael trying to put a whole lot of pressure on Reed Shanbrook. Strong run for Reed Shanbrook so far. We're used to seeing him in about the mid-pack. So up into the top 5 currently. Strong run for him. Let's see if he can hold on to it as the race progresses, but right now he's got a mirror full of Michael Montello in the green and gold Fina machinery, trying to find a way inside, outside of Shanbrook. Shanbrook doing a great job making that M2 as wide as he can. You see, he gets a little loose up over that hill. It's easy to, car gets kind of light through there, Zippy. It's easy to lose the back end and swing around, as we'll probably see a car or two throughout the race go off left there. But right now, Shanbrook able to hold on to it, but he's feeling some heavy pressure from Montello.
Well, it is indeed 2 battles going on. We have a battle happening there. We have a battle happening there. We're going to try our best to keep an eye on them. And we get another battle happening here as well. Actually, a freeway battle happening, ladies and gentlemen. Side by side, it's Albert and I believe that's Alessi there, side by side. Yep, Albert and Alessi side by side there, as I believe they're heading around the final corner, getting back into single file. And in doing so, Nathan Brackman, I believe one of the newcomers to WDCR, certainly for Pit Road Productions, he's not a name that we not yet recognize, as he tips a wheel there. Actually, a couple of them dip a wheel. They're going to absolutely pull away there. The more they fight, the more they pull away. But we're going to head back to another battle side by side. It's Michael Montello and Reed Shanbrook.
Yeah, it looks like Montello's found a way to get to the inside here. He'll have the inside line headed into the next braking session. But if Shanbrook can pull upside, that would give him the inside for the following corner. So we'll see if he's able to do it. Looks like Montello's going to close him off. Shanbrook trying for the crossover, but unfortunately he's crossing over to the wrong side for the next corner. But Montello going to make that car wide, and he's going to hold on to that position. That's going to move Michael Montello up into fourth spot. Oh, Shanbrook gets a little squirrely. He's going to have to gather it up. He's going to have Denner hot on his tailpipe now. Denner's not going to have to be asked twice to try and take advantage of that position if it opens up.
Well, certainly he is definitely going to do everything he can, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see there, that's what we've been waiting for. And I got to say, it's definitely a head turner. I'll give him that. I do appear that he despite the fact this gentleman is not a dentist, he certainly has incredible teeth. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the view that we've been waiting for. And I gotta say, it wasn't quite what I expected, but there you go, Ryan, that's just for you, sir. Just for you, we made that happen here at Pit Road Productions. But as we have a look, Denner is currently going to try and apply pressure there to Reed Shannonbrook, who's currently resting in 5th place.
Yeah, so you don't have to have an OnlyFans page to have thirst traps, Zippy. We got them with the helmet cams there tonight. But as we watch Micah Montello starting to pull a little bit away from Reed Shannonbrook. Possibly Shannonbrook might have been the cork in the bottle holding up Montello, but we'll see if now that Montello's been released, if he's able to chase down Jack Chrissy and Andrew Pilata up ahead to battle for second and third.
Well, it sounds like the chat was very much a fan of the camera work, so thank you very much, chat. Certainly, we're all for making the giggles happen here at Pit Road Productions. Honestly, I was thinking the other day about what separates us from other broadcasters, and honestly, the first thing I thought of was humor. You know, we definitely like to have a bit of fun with you guys, and certainly, you know what, it keeps things interesting, but we're going to go check very quickly. We're going to keep an eye on this battle as well. Jack Chrissy, again, applying more pressure there. He's got the gap down to about 0.2 of a second right now. So right now, this is exactly what DJ Alessandrini needs. He's pulled away about 1.3 seconds, and in doing so, he's eliminating himself, you know, from getting much screen time, because realistically, nothing really happening over there for him. He's just pulling away, certainly able to get them points in, but certainly Jack Chrissy trying everything he can. We'll check back in with this pack as well. Definitely not the most amount of passes here happening today at Mid-Ohio. Certainly we've seen a little bit of movement, but right now the hard charger is actually this gentleman here. It's Albert with 2 positions.
Yeah, nice showing by Albert Go so far. He's got himself a little bit of a gap over Chris Hart behind him and trying to chase down Nathan Brackman up ahead. As we take a look at Albert's helmet, he's got a nice helmet there too as well. So
helmet cam.
We might have to get into a little bit of a helmet battle here as the season progresses. Now that you've got your helmet cam fired up for the chat, but as we jump back up front to see Jack Chrissy currently trying to suffocate Andrew Pilata up ahead of him. He's got the bag over his head, just can't quite pull it tight enough to suffocate him and make that move, Zippy, but he's trying to put as much pressure on him as he can. But it looks like Chrissy was tight on the back bumper last time we checked in them. Looks like Pilata is able to open up a couple of tenths over Chrissy, but Chrissy diving deep into that corner there, trying to make a move on Pilata. Pilata able to fend it off right now.
Well, certainly, you know, without finding the M2, it's been very hard to make a pass, and these guys are definitely proving that there's definitely talent here on the racetrack. It's just a case of how hard do you want to push. You know, it's a 30-minute race. We're not even 10 minutes in yet at this point. Ryan, give me the giggles there in chat. You know what? If you want to see the biggest helmet, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's the biggest helmets for you. Yep. Yeah. Oh man, sorry, Rob. It was too good not to. Too good, and it was great. I got to watch your reaction as we went through that. But it looks like Chris Hart may have gone off track a couple of times. Let's take a quick look at the replay and see exactly what's going on back here.
Oh, it looks like Chris going to run wide into turn 1, kill a few cones along the way. Oh, those must be those new heavy-duty cones. They didn't even budge, but Chris showing a little bit of the BMW Rally heritage across the infield section there. Managed to gather it up. It is, unfortunately, I'll admit it, I've actually made the mistake of cutting through the grass, coming through back out on the other side of the track and clearing out some cars before Zippy. So I'm sure I know exactly what Chris was thinking. Oh no, don't let me go across the track as he was coming through that section there.
Well, it looks like we may have got some more entertainment coming. I can see there. Ryan's there in the chat, like, we've got a special helmet coming for you next week, and am I familiar with Mr. Bean? Indeed I am. Rowan Atkinson is a legend in my world, but despite the off-track, Chris Harp is now doing what he does best and applying pressure to his fellow competitors. This time it's Albert Go, and you know what, he's already got that gap down to 0.2 of a second. Certainly he's keen to try and recover some of those positions now. Down 3, Albert's up 2. You can see Nathan Brackman, who did have an off-track a little bit ago, so you know he's going to be keen to apply the pressure here. As you can see there, just gently does it, to quote Mr. Riesgaard and one of our fellow Pit Road Productions commentators, you know, trying not to overwork the car, not to overwork the tyres, and generally trying to recover a couple of them positions through the field.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tricky in these cars. A lot of the corners are off camber corners, and we've seen between this league and another league that we broadcast, both running the M2s, how really tricky this car can be, Zippy, in some of the off-camber corners. It's easy to lose the back end. So well done by all these Gentlemen and ladies, I'm not sure if we got any in the field tonight, but all these folks out driving tonight doing well to keep the car on the track at this point. But Chris Harp trying to put some pressure on Albert and Go, and they got Nathan Brackman trying to chase away, run away from them up ahead, but Albert not ready to let him get out of his sights as they're, it looks like they're slowly closing him down. I don't know if the two of them can work together to try and chase down Nathan so they can have a battle for 13th place.
Well, certainly you got to weigh up the risk versus reward, and a lot of these guys, I think, have figured out that the more they battle, the more they lose the car that's ahead of them. And certainly, you got to weigh up how hard do you want to fight. Myself, if I'm competing for points right now, yeah, I think I'm going to want to work together. But then, how far? If you catch up one guy, where do you draw the line? You've got to fight for what's on the table.
Yeah, you got to take what's given to you. You can't really try and force it too much, but looks like Chris Harp trying to make a move around Albert and Go. Looks like Albert's just going to give it to him. He's going to tuck in, and it's actually a smart move, as we just mentioned earlier. Sometimes it's better just to give up the spot, tuck in behind, versus battling and losing more time to the car in front, Zippy.
Well, you can see there, Lewis Alessi is already hot on the tails, and right behind him is Eddie Kedarakis. He's certainly doing everything he can, and certainly I think the M2 proving to be a little bit of a challenge here today at Mid-Ohio. Certainly it's a very fun car, but it's a little bit demanding to handle as Albert is there. He's spending a little bit of time in the sand, maybe even doing some circles in the sand. There we go. There's our second musical pun of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. By all means, chat if you want to join in on this as well. Have at her. It's fair game, but we're going to go back here with Reed Shannonbrook because it looks like Colin Denner is currently in battle with him for P5.
Yeah, Shannonbrook's falling back into the clutches of Denner. Denner's opened up a bit of a gap over Anthony Montello, the elder Montello brothers, so now he's going to try and put some pressure on Shannonbrook. Shannonbrook doing well so far. We're nearing the halfway point. Still sitting up in 5th place where he qualified. Actually, it looks like everybody in the top 10 still more or less where they qualified, Zippy. So, as you mentioned, we haven't seen a whole lot of passing out there. A lot of more or less just trying to keep the car under you. But it looks like Denner is starting to look a little aggressive inside and outside of Shannonbrook as we drop back now to look at Will Long, as I believe he's trying to make a move on Wally up ahead. Wally, usually a fan favorite in the chat last week. I think he had a bit of a excursion that dropped him out of it. So it's good to see Wally back in battling for the top 10 currently.
Well, certainly we'll take a quick look at the replay of that. I just seen in the timer screen going absolutely bonkers. It looked like a nice tidy move on the inside. Lots of space left. Very clean maneuver there, and not really a lot Will Long could do with that. He's on off the line for the next corner, but certainly, we'll have to see how it plays out. And you can see there a little bit of debris there being sprinkled on the track as well. So some of these guys indeed, leaving a couple of nuggets there for our fellow competitors.
Yeah, I think that might have been when we saw Albert go off in the kitty litter earlier when you mentioned he was making circles in the sand. But he definitely doesn't want to be a beach boy out there tonight and get it back on track. We left a little debris behind him. As we jump back up, see Jack Chrissy still unable to try and find a way around Pilata, but it looks like they've closed that gap now on Alice Andrini. It was about 1.5 seconds, so I'm not sure if Alice Andrini had a off somewhere or just got a little complacent and slowed down some, but Plata and Chrissy starting to chase down Alice Andrini up ahead. Halfway through this one, we could see a battle for top spot on the podium start to brew here, Zippy.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not seeing any off tracks there for Alessandrini, so certainly I'm wondering as well, has he just backed off the pace or, has something gone wrong? But if I have a look at his last lap time, he's doing a 1:31.26. Nothing outrageously crazy by any means, and nothing that would really ring alarm bells there. His best is it's quick, but it's not like setting oh my gosh, he's crossed into the next dimension kind of quick. So certainly, he's maybe having to work a little bit harder here today. Maybe the competition has indeed been able to amp up their skills. Maybe we've got simply the best at the front of the field. That's 4, ladies and gentlemen. Tina Turner, a fantastic singer. But currently, as we're looking at the top 3, there is a battle going on, and I believe Denner and Shannonbrook are still trying to sort it back out for P5.
Yeah, they're still fighting out there, but it looks like as they battle, that's allowed Michael Montello to open up a bit of a gap. But this, about 5 cars in this pack here, Zippy, they're really falling back off the leaders now. They can kind of gear up nose to tail a little bit. They might be able to close that gap as Denner looks to the inside of Shannonbrook into turn 3. Shannonbrook's going to be able to get on the throttle a little earlier on the outside. He's going to hold Denner off, but we'll see if Denner's able to sneak back in and utilize that draft into turn 4 coming up ahead. Another real keen overtake opportunity. It looks like he's not I might I might have nightmares now after that helmet, but not quite close enough to make a move on Shanbrook into turn 4, so he's gonna have to stay tucked in as it is. But Montello and Zoo starting to close the gap. We haven't mentioned Kevin Zoo yet, but normally he's in, up, and around it. Usually most races, along with Ryan Carwile in behind them. So those two always seem to find each other on track one way or another. So we'll see what works out between the two of them. But usually they're in around any sort of excitement, Zippy. But right now, Zoo trying to put a whole lot of pressure on the elder Montello Anthony.
Well, certainly they are doing their absolute best there, as I think there's something happening, maybe something happened there a second ago with Louis Alessi. We'll take a look at that in just a minute. No off tracks or anything, but I think him and Brackman maybe having a little bit of a tangle there. But as we have a look here right now, Montello is currently leading away. You can see there these guys. Generally, you might be a little bit quicker on one lap, but then you're giving it back on the next. Certainly, as we look through, you know, nothing too crazy there. But we're going to go back and see exactly what's going on with this battle here for 14th place between Nathan Brackman and Louis Alessi.
Yeah, we pick up Alessi here in the blue and yellow Goodyear car. He's got Brackman up ahead of him. We saw Brackman was earlier just ahead of Albert and Go and was that Chris Harp. Harp's been able to get around Brackman now. He's moved up into 13th place, where Albert and Go fortunately had that off tracks dropped him down to 17th place. But Alessi trying to make a move on Brackman. Looks like they're starting to catch Chris Harp up ahead. Harp got away around Brackman, but unable to pull away so far. But differing lines into turn 3 from Alessi and Brackman. Alessi holding it a little tighter. Brackman drifted out a little wide, but we pick up Anthony Montello and Kevin Zoo. Zoo thinks about making a move to the inside. I think that was more just a fake and bake on Montello, trying to get him looking in his mirrors, wondering where Zoo was going to go, try and get him off his game. But Montello, he's seen that many times before and didn't fall for it. Zoo looking aggressive in behind, trying to force a mistake from Montello. So far, Montello holding strong.
Well, he is definitely going to have to hold the line, ladies and gentlemen, as we hit 5 musical puns. That song was by Toto, if you weren't familiar. And certainly, you know, they're going to want to keep it on track, not send it off into Africa, going for the double whammy here. But, oh, my gosh, that's absolutely cringeworthy, ladies and gentlemen. Please forgive me for that. We're at 6 or 7 now, Rob. I think we hit 7. Anyway, I do have a report here. We've got a pass that's happened further back in the field for Nathan Brackman.
Yeah, it looks like Alessi is going to get around Brackman if my timing and scoring is shown correctly, but
yeah, that's
like
Harp.
Brackman's going to go a little wide. Harp's going to get to the inside. I think Alessi's going to capitalize too as well.
Well, we'll stay with it for the moment here and see exactly what happened, because we do know Louis Alessi managed to sneak himself by. So let's see exactly how he did it. Everything looking good there by Brockman, and you know, Alessi's going to have to. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there. That's maybe what's done it. We know he got by. Yeah, I'm looking for it. The suspense is killing me. Are we going to get an off track?
I'm not sure if you picked the. Did you grab the right replay, Zippy? But we are showing Alessi ahead on timing and scoring. So.
Well, I did indeed hit the replay. Oh, there it is.
It looks like Ngo's got. Oh yeah, there we go. Not sure, possibly serving a slowdown there. Looks like he just pulled off to the side and bailed, but
yeah, anyways, definitely looked like a slowdown.
Montello back up here as he's starting to close the gap on Colin Denner. Like Kevin Zoo had dropped back a little bit after putting a whole lot of pressure on the back of Montello, but Zoo's starting to close that gap on Denner, and it looks like we've got some smooth operator talk in chat. I'm not sure which driver they're referring to as a smooth operator out here tonight, Zippy, but could be Colin Denner as he smoothly dropped the tire off the grass there.
Well, certainly it looks like the chat is fair game for having a little bit of musical trivia here as we do this race. But right now, you can see Wally is starting to apply a little bit of pressure here to Will Long. Now, we've seen these guys battle before. Certainly right now, it's about 4 or 5 tenths between them. So definitely a little bit of a gap. To be saying that was a huge little bit there, closing down by Wally there. He managed to close in about 2 tenths, 3 tenths of a second there. Will Long under some heavy pressure as we've reached the halfway point and then some. It's the final countdown, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, we're seeing we're seeing Wally trying to put some pressure on Will Long. Definitely not trying to force anything, but Wally showing some pace here. He's up, actually he's down one spot. I thought he had picked up a few spots earlier, but he was up in the top 10, has dropped down, trying to regain that spot back from Ryan Carwile. But Ryan, as we mentioned, usually in around a lot of the battles. No surprise he's found himself in a battle here as Wally's trying to look on every which side of him, even on the dark side of the moon here, Zippy, to see if he can find a way around.
Oh, there we go. That's 9. Fantastic. Also, the movie Transformers as well, Dark Side of the Moon, fantastic thing. But I got to say, Ryan Carwile, he's a little bit ahead, sir. But right now, Will Long is currently under pressure. That's 10, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of air supply going on there as Will Long able to hold off Wally for at least this lap.
Yeah, we'll see if Wally's able to make a move. But pretty much this is our tightest battle. Looks like Kevin Zhu might be chasing down Anthony Montello up ahead, but actually it looks like my timing and scoring just kind of glitched for a second. It was showing about 1/10 back, and then it dropped about 5/10. So I'm not sure if it was just a little glitch, but it looks like Zhu is putting some pressure on Montello right now. Montello's got ice in his veins. Some would even say ice, ice, baby.
Oh my gosh. This is going to be, I don't know if we're going to get away with this on a regular occurrence, but certainly we're mixing up for you here. We've got to be at least 10, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly having a little bit of fun here, and also expanding your musical knowledge there. As you can see here, Wally is doing everything he can, just trying to put it there on the inside. Not able to get it done. The great defense there from Will Long. He's been up in P10 before. He's just got to do it again, ladies and gentlemen. Like maybe, oops, I did it again. Like that one. Oh, it didn't really work, did it? But I got robbed, but I didn't get the pun.
Oh, yeah. Wally trying to find a way around, but Ryan Carwile able to hold him off right now. As well, smaller field now starting to spread out. We're seeing less and less battles on track, but looks like what are we picking up here? Albert and Go and Eddie Kekarakis. They're battling out right now for 15th place. Albert's been up and down all through this one, Zippy, but we're getting close to about 5 minutes left, and you know what happens at 5 minutes left? That's hammer time.
Rob, just like a pill, instead of making you better, you're just making me feel ill. That was pink, ladies and gentlemen. I've lost count. We've got to be at 13 or 14. This could be the move, though. No. I was getting so excited. I thought he was going to have it then. Certainly, Albert, a little bit more restrained than myself when it comes to putting the nose in places it maybe shouldn't belong. And I don't just necessarily mean with a race car, but currently, you know what? We're going to head back to Reed Shannonbrook because he has been fighting Colin Denner this entire race, still able to hold him off with the Haribo Gold Bear BMW. Not quite able to get it done just yet, but applying even more pressure as they're in the last 6 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, of this race.
Yeah, I don't know if we can pick up a cockpit cam of Denner, Zippy, but he's looking left and right almost every corner. So there's we see car off on the left.
Kevin
there.
Zhu.
I think that was Kevin Zhu.
I think so.
For him, no, he's still there. I think that was one of our lap cars, unfortunately.
Jared Page, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it looks like Jared Page has, fortunately, another one bites the dust. But as we pick up here, Colin Denner trying to put pressure on Reed Shannonbrook up ahead. We've seen Denner kind of trying to find a way any which way he can, left, right, almost every corner, trying to fill the mirrors of Shannonbrook. Shannonbrook doing well not to get distracted by the maneuvers of Denner looking inside and outside. So hats off to Shannonbrook.
Oh, no.
He's doing well out there tonight. So we pick up a replay here of, actually we're picking up Nathan Brackman here. Brackman coming up in through the S's. Looks like he's going to get a little bit of a tank slapper there. Unable to gather it back up. 2 cars behind him get around him without tagging him. So well done. I think that might have been Albert Ngo and Chris Harp that were able to sneak through there without tagging the back of Brackman. So well done by both those drivers being aware of what was happening up ahead of them.
It was indeed very well managed there. Certainly, it's definitely easy to get the back end of this car on the looser side, ladies and gentlemen. And, it's definitely, I've got into this car with no practice thinking, oh, yeah, I can go and do some laps in this. And I was wrong, ladies and gentlemen. It did not work out. It was indeed stronger than I expected it to be. That's another Britney Spears pun, ladies and gentlemen. But, I'm just definitely not quite got the skill that we've seen here today. Certainly, we got quite a stronger strength of field as well. Quite a variety, actually. 7,400 all the way down to about 1,100 is what I can see. Certainly, and indeed a huge variety. But we're going to go back further in the pack because it looks like we've got a battle here. Nathan Brackman is, nope. He was. There we go. It's these two guys, ladies and gentlemen. Having a little bit of issue with time and scoring today. Eddie Katarakis and Albert Go. These guys are fighting at it still, ladies and gentlemen. The whole race they've been at it very briefly, but Reed Shannonbrook again under attack from Colin Denner.
Yeah, Denner's not ready to give up the ghost yet. Zippy's holding tight on the back of Shannonbrook. Now we see him again looking left and right inside, trying to make a move. He might have a little bit of overlap this time. Shannonbrook going to force him in tight up on the curve. That's going to force Denner to have to back out of that one. But unfortunately for Denner, that exit was optimal or suboptimal for him. That's the spotter term I was looking for, and unfortunately he's going to lose the draft and the opportunity to make a move into turn 4 and 5 here. He's going to have to try and tuck back in, as there's no real great overtaking opportunities here, as we see Denner getting a little loose, trying to apply a little too much power for that M2, as this thing's riding on Vulcan hockey pucks for rubber tires, and it really doesn't take too much throttle. But we're down to the last 3 minutes, Zippy, so it's time to get going.
Certainly, and you know what? It looked like Denner had to take the long way home on that occasion, not quite able to get the move done. That's another musical pun, ladies and gentlemen. Fleetwood Mac. But you know what? Let me entertain you, ladies and gentlemen. Another one, Robbie Williams. You know, I'm just trying to do the best I can with the racing that we have, and certainly, you know, this M2 has proven incredibly difficult to make a pass. Certainly, you know, I almost wonder, you know, Ken Housel's out of the house, if everybody's been given strict instructions to behave, and certainly by all means, he's not in the house. Absolutely send it, ladies and gentlemen. We are not going to rat you out. If anything, we will encourage such behaviors for your entertainment needs.
We're doing our best, Sippy. We're doing our best. Oh, we see Denner going wide into the exit of turn 1. He's definitely about to try and ring hell's bells on Reed Shanahan up ahead, but Shanahan holding off, or sorry, Shannonbrook. I'm mixing my Toronto Maple Leaf GMs with race car drivers here, but Shannonbrook holding off Colin Denner as it is, but Denner looking tight up on the back bumper here. It's as close as we've seen him through this section the last couple laps. We've got a lap car pulling to the inside. Going to let this battle go by. We'll see if Denner gets a good enough run to make a move. Thinks about making a move to the outside. He's going to have to try and force around the outside, but that would put him onto the inside for the next curb. Shannonbrook goes wide, hops the curb a little bit, but he's going to tuck into the inside, force Denner to the outside. Denner's going to try for the crossover. Shannonbrook getting a little loose, but unfortunately no room for Denner to make a move to the inside here, Zippy.
Well, he's doing everything he can right now. I feel like he's almost in dodgeball at this minute. Duck, dip, dodge, dive, and dip. I don't know what they were, but certainly I've got a feeling the chat certainly will do. But certainly, you know, I got to say, Ryan there saying Colin selling the fakes like Temu, maybe AliExpress. Certainly, I'm not going to disagree with that. Like, he's pretty much spot on there. As you can see, John Holloway has gone off track as well. Got a little notification for him. He's currently running back in 18th place right now. But this is where the main action has been for the majority of the race. And as I say that, we've got another battle happening. Kevin Zhu has managed to close up, this time to Anthony Montello.
Yeah, well, if Denner's selling the Temu fakes, then Kevin Zhu is trying to come back with a prime delivery on Montello here. But unfortunately, unable to make the moves. Getting down to nitty gritty. I think this could be our last lap, possibly, Zippy, but we're 30 seconds to go. I didn't quite check to see if the flagman is waving the white flag. I should do that to see where we're at, but this could be it for our battles here this evening.
Well, certainly it does appear that Kevin Zhu is never going to give you up, never going to let you down, never going to run around and desert you. That's got to be the worst one we have ever done on a stream. But right now, he is doing exactly that and certainly applying the pressure there to Anthony Montello. And he looks like he's managed to get it side by side. Montello able to holding on only just so. Kevin Zhu, I thought he had that game set and match. Certainly, this isn't tennis, though, ladies and gentlemen. And the ball continues in play, or in this case, the M2.
Yeah, we're on the last lap. So this is the last opportunity for our drivers to make a move, as looks like DJ's going to bring home the win, but Montello's still trying to hold off. Oh, no, we've got Denner and Shannonbrook off on the left. I don't know if they touched or if it was just a mutual sliding, but that's going to drop them all the way down into, looks like 11th and 12th, possibly, Zippy.
Well, I do have to say very quickly that DJ Alessandrini has took the checkered flag. Andrew Pilota's got second, and Jack Chrissy has indeed got third. We're going to keep an eye on this battle very quickly, and then we're going to take a look at that replay to find out what happened to Denner and Shannonbrook. Certainly, it was definitely cooking for a little while, and it looks like Montello's been able to hold it on. We're going to go back with Wally and Will Leung. Will Long, sorry. These guys are battling out. All right, let's see exactly what happened here with Denner and Shannonbrook.
As we see Denner trying to put the pressure on Shannonbrook. It's like I'm not sure if they touched or Shannonbrook got a little loose.
Ooh!
Denner makes a move to the inside. Unfortunately, they touch. And it looks like Denner does the gentlemanly thing, pulls over and waits. I'd like to see it could have carried on, but it looks like he waits for Shannonbrook to back on track. That's a real sportsmanlike move there, recognizing that he possibly was the aggressor in that move and let Shannonbrook get back on track ahead of him. But take another look from the chopper cam here. Almost a touch there. Denner dives to the inside. I think that was just a racing incident more than anything, but hats off to Colin Denner doing the gentlemanly thing and waiting for Shannonbrook to get back on track.
Well, I don't know. If I look at the facial expression on this driver, I can't really see any remorse in his eyes. Certainly, he was the sportsmanship was there, but certainly he's got a little bit of a menacing look about him. But ladies and gentlemen, certainly an interesting race for us here indeed today at where are we at? Mid-Ohio, ladies and gentlemen. Took me a second there. Mid-Ohio. Certainly an interesting scenario indeed, and there's definitely a lot of good fun. But certainly, it's I guess it's time we should probably go over the results and maybe get away from some of these musical puns. Certainly, it's been we did try to save tonight, and a little bit torn about it. Don't get me wrong, but unless you're just scrolling through my playlist at this point, picking songs off. But Rob, maybe we should go over the results before we get cancelled. Just give me a second here.
Yeah. It would be amazing if you could bring up the results, Zippy.
Lone Star. Oh, that was a maze, not amazing. But anyway, carry on, Rob. Do the honors, sir.
Aerosmith.
Oh, my apologies.
DJ brings home the win. Andrew Pilata in second. Jack Chrissy rounds out the podium. And we see the Montello brothers. Michael Montello in fourth. Anthony Montello in fifth. Kevin Zhu, Ryan Carwell can move up to sixth and seventh. Will Long in eighth. Wally's going to finish in ninth. Adam Kobach in 10th. Chris Hart brings it home 11th. Albert Go in 12th, Eddie Karakis in 13th, Nathan Brockman in 14th. Fortunately, Shannonbrook and Denner fall all the way down to 15th and 16th. Jarrett Page in 17th, John Holloway, couple acts down in 18th. Louis Lacey and James Cathers didn't see the grid.
Well, certainly it was definitely a interesting race here. I've just put a little bit of an APB in the chat for us to get some driver interviews, and looks like the first one has indeed come in. Rob, I understand you've been able to catch up with Colin Denner, today's helmet cam superstar.
Yeah, welcome in, Colin. We finally got the fan club, the helmet cam, and we got that on stream, much to their joy. But we were focusing on your battle with you and Shannonbrook most of the last half of the race, and then we saw what happened on the last lap. But Gary, go through it with us. What happened there?
Yeah, well, I appreciate you finally being able to get the helmet cam. I've been trying to pick out a good paint every week for you guys, and my brother's been, I know, relentlessly harassing you guys to pick a helmet cam. So I do appreciate that. But yeah, Reed and I had an amazing battle. He had so much good pace, and it was a great race between him and I. And I just got I don't know, overambitious. Going into that final corner, I don't know. I feel like I had a good run going into that final section there, and I just was late on the brakes, and I feel horrible. I didn't mean to end his race like that, but yeah, it was a great race between him and I.
Yeah, sometimes those things just happen. But we saw that you pulled off to the side, waited for him to be back on track. The ultimate sportsman move. So our hats off to you there. But Mid-Ohio, I'm not sure if we talked to you last week about it. Have you spent much time with Mid-Ohio? I talked early on in the race. It's one of those tracks that really doesn't see much love in iRacing as far as participation, but it's a track that I think is a lot of similarities between VIR, Road Atlanta type thing that I think it should get more love. But how much time did you have in Mid-Ohio this week, or was it kind of just jump in last minute, learn the track, and hit the gas?
Yeah, I love this circuit. Just as a track, just lapping it and everything. But when it comes to those final couple tenths, it's always a struggle for me in every car to find those final few tenths and everything. And this car proved no different. I could finally get it down to those 31s and everything, the mid 31s, but just after that it was a struggle, and I just watched everybody run away. But compared to VIR and Road Atlanta, I love those two tracks, and hopefully I can show a little bit more pace at those two circuits.
Mm-hmm. Next week we head to a street circuit. I believe it's the first one of the season. We're going to head to Belle Isle. What are your thoughts and opinions on the Belle Isle?
Well, I downloaded that track to do the GR86 maybe a year ago with WDCR, and that was the only time I have track time on that circuit. So that should be interesting. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun in this car with how bouncy it is and everything around the curb. So
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the car and the combo plays out there. But before we let you go, Colin, we've still got a few of your fan club in the chat. Anything you want to say to them or give them a shout out?
as always, much appreciated to everybody. Of course, my family watching right above me and my girlfriend at home. Thank you guys, and of course my brother for always hyping me up for me and my go-karting and my iRacing career. My uncle Decker watching up in New York, and anybody else watching this. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for joining us, Colin, and best of luck next week at Detroit.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Colin Denner, who doesn't realize it, but he has been dubbed this week's Helmet Hero, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't see it before, we're going to put it up for you once more. Certainly a little bit of a giggle here for us in the production booth. And honestly, never been requested a helmet cam until I did this series. I'm kind of... For a long while, I was kind of like, wondering a little bit, okay, what is the deal? Why are these guys so keen about getting a helmet cam going? And now I get it. It sounds like this is going to be a weekly occurrence. So certainly, you know what? You guys have set the bar. Let's see some fun helmets. Like, give us a little bit of a tip off there in chat about who we need to be keeping an eye on. But certainly, good fun here today at Mid-Ohio. And definitely, the track proved to be a very difficult place to make passes. A hard charger, a couple of them with only, with only 2 positions. But Will Long actually able to get that there in the end. He managed to gain 3 positions. So I do wonder if, Ken Housel being absent from the house, if that kind of settled things down a little bit. Certainly he was unable to make it tonight. And I have... as requested, as really expected, given him a hard time for such motions. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's certainly been a lot of fun here. I see Ryan there back in the chat, certainly, as well. Again, all you guys in the chat as well, certainly, we'd love having this kind of interaction with you guys. Keep coming back, by all means. Share the link with your friends, family, work colleagues that you just want to irritate. By all means, we don't mind roasting your colleagues on your behalf anonymously, if so be it. We will have some fun with this, ladies and gentlemen. But for today, that's going to be it from us. And, thank you very much for having us. But my name has, and I guess always will be, I'm in Discord for Colin. I'm looking for you. I don't see him. I don't see Ryan there today. Do you see him, Rob?
No, maybe he's in a WGCR Discord, possibly.
Maybe. Well, we'll give it a few minutes.
Oh, he's saying he's in Colin's Discord.
So okay. Well, hang on. Let's get him back in there. Ryan, are you there?
I'm there.
There we go. I was going to say we're looking for how's Colin. So Ryan, as you're kind of almost like the king of the chat at this point. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts for that race.
I think Colin got a little overambitious, like he said. I mean, late move in the race, and they all wanted it, so he sent it, and he waited for the car in front of him, and that was that, really. Like sportsmanship all the way, and
well, definitely
that's really all I have to say.
Well, definitely the sportsmanship was very good, but tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening with this helmet. As the person who has frequently requested the helmet cam, we did feel, all right, okay, the request has been not just a one-time thing. He's keen, so tell us a little bit about what we have to look forward to with this helmet cam.
So we got a lot of we used to race on Sim TV, if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
And,
great outfit.
So we used to be helmet kings there all the time. We had a few. We had Mr. Bean, Bender from Futurama, Mr. Meeseeks. We had, what was it, Nicolas Cage one time, Colin? Yeah, we had Nicolas Cage one time, and we got some more to come. We'll definitely make some helmets for you guys.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Certainly, one of my personal hobbies is to make streamers burst out laughing during the show. And if you want to make us burst out laughing, we will very deliberately refrain from looking at any helmets until we're live in the show. Certainly adds a little bit of fun to the broadcast. But thank you very much for doing that, Ryan, as well. But while we got you in here, just very quickly, I understand that you are, if I remember rightly, MGK. Racing?
So it's MGM. MGM
Damn
is
it,
the
I was
chassis that
so close, so
You
close.
were close. You were close. So me and my brother just signed to a karting team, and we're both getting MGM chassis, and we're very excited. So if you got some stickers you want to send us, we'll work something out in the Discord. But we're more than happy to promote you guys as much as we can. Racing on your channel has been great, and we love it. And we're here for you guys. Like we know you're here for us.
Oh, absolutely. And certainly, I'm sure we can sort out some stickers, maybe even a flag or something. We'll see. Leave that one with me. Certainly, just send me a message on Discord from the account you want me to deal with there. But we're going to get this show wrapped up, ladies and gentlemen. So from myself, Daniel Zippy Salmon, and from Mr. Rob Campbell as well, who we've not actually given a nickname to yet. Maybe let me not do that. But certainly, if you want to check him out on YouTube, Double Apex, I believe he is on YouTube. Did I get that right, Rob?
You got it. You got it. Double Apex.
Boy. So, yep, Double Apex on YouTube, or if you really want to watch something and potentially get offended, you can check out me on Twitch, Zippy on the mic. And but that's it for us for today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see you in 1 week's time, where we're going to be heading to the street circuit of Detroit Belle Isle. But thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon. Thank you.